Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to speak on friendships and being in someone's inner circle type of friendship. I'm also going to give some updates, like some information about my family, um, which will also be a prayer request for those who are willing to pray for our family. Um, I just want people to make an educated decision in being my friend. Uh, Earlier, let's see, what day is this? Is Wednesday, right? Um, Last week, I had a thought that with the calling that's on my life, that when I ask people to be my friend or help me um, in ways like, say, eventually I'm going to need people to help me with making videos with what I'm wanting to do. I'm going to need a crew, basically, and people who know how to do things and can help with making videos. But but I've been pursuing in-person friendships for the last few months, trying to get out of my house and off the computer. I love having all you guys in the different places I go on the internet and having friends. It's great. I love it. I meet people all over the world and get to understand other ways of thinking and other cultures, and you know, it gets me out of my four walls, and that's great. I love it. But uh, we also are human beings, and we were made to need each other. Really realizing and understanding what that means lately. Lord's been helping me understand what having the horizontal um, relationships are about versus the vertical. Um, uh, but I had a thought last week on what it means to be my friend. Like, if someone decides they are going to hang out with me and do things with me, what that means. And of course, the the more the closer you get into that inner circle, uh, the more intense things can get. Uh, so I realized how selfish I was being in some of my requests in my prayer life, because I didn't consider other people in wanting them in my life, and wanting their help, and whatever they can do in helping me fulfill my dreams. Um, uh, so, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Um, my son's coming in the door. I think it's, yeah, well, my son was gone and he's coming in the door. So I'm getting distracted with that. Um, but what that means, I realize that um, when I'm approaching people, I need to uh, give them more of a heads up on uh, what it means to be in my inner circle and to to be with me to do things and to help with my endeavors and and then too that means that I need to ask them questions if they're not giving me heads up because it also means the same with them. If I'm going to be in their inner circle, uh, I need to understand what being their friend is going to entail. Uh, so I think that there needs to be more conversation, more questions asked. Now, I mean, we can't know everything because we don't know everything that's going to happen in life, and so we just gotta take, you know, what comes sometimes, um, and that's what any friendship or relationship that you're in is going to entail, whether you chose to be in it or not. Like children don't choose uh, to be in the relationship with their parents and siblings. That's not anything that they can choose. So they're just, they're thrown in those friendships and relationships versus, when we choosing friends, we can't necessarily choose our neighbors, so sometimes we get people that live near us, and we have to deal with their stuff too. And you're like, I didn't choose this, So our neighbors, we don't necessarily choose either, but we end up having to deal with their garbage, and some of their idiosyncrasies. And of course, we get their good stuff too. I mean, it's not all bad. It's not like our neighbors or all these people have nothing but bad. So some people could turn out to have some really cool and really fun and good things, that we really enjoy their company and their personalities and character and stuff. But it was just something that I came across last week in my thoughts and then in my prayer life, and it changed me a little bit because I realized how selfish some of my requests were. Um, so anyway, that's just something that I want people to consider. And with me, uh, the ride is going to be pretty wild because of my calling and things that I'm being asked to do um, on this planet. Um, so I just want people to be heads up. So, like, if anybody comes across this video and you end up helping me to make videos or, in different things that I want to do, I think that's pretty much the main thing with dealing with this because this is the video making endeavor. Um, but there's, other things away from the computer and um, that I want to do. So those things also, when I come across people that are going to help me with those things, um, I am going to be asking more questions and giving more heads up and make sure they understand what it means um, to be involved with me in whatever capacity. I mean, if you're gonna, it's kind of like, I kind of look at myself sometimes as like a Navy SEAL type person spiritually. Um, so I get called on for some of the tougher assignments. Um, I mean, you can believe that or not, it doesn't really matter. Um, so, when you're a Navy SEAL, um, there's things that you're going to be put through. I mean, they don't call on Navy SEALs to go be a lifeguard at the Y. You know what I'm saying? That's not the type of water that they're involved with. No, they call the Navy SEALs to go out to the ocean and go deep diving to go rescue somebody in some sub or something, or different things. I don't know all the assignments, but you understand what I'm saying. Um, it's the Y calls on the teenagers to go be a lifeguard there, not a Navy SEAL. You know what I'm saying? So, um, anyway, it's just something on my mind that I thought needed to be said. Um, the prayer request that I have is my husband went to the doctor a few weeks ago, and he's not been feeling well for quite a while. He's been having health issues for a long time of various types, but the fatigue and just not having energy and the crust of things lately um, started, I guess, last year or maybe a couple years ago. Um, and they've been trying to figure out what's wrong with him and what his issue is. And a few weeks ago, a doctor gave him some medication to take and told him, take the medication. If it makes you feel good, makes you feel better, then we're going to go in this direction. And if it doesn't, then we're going to, go this direction. The medicine is making my husband feel better. And when he looked the medication up online, everything pointed to Parkinson's disease. And Friday he talked to his doctor over the phone, and the doctor confirmed that that is the direction that my husband's body is going in. At this point, he can't say that he has that disease for sure, but it is that's where it's heading. So if he doesn't have it now, he will have it later. He's gonna come back in his next appointment or one of the appointments he has, and they're gonna do more testing to find out exactly where on the spectrum he's at. And in doing more research ourselves, or basically him, my husband, doing more research on the symptoms and what the traits of it are. A lot of these things, in discussing with me and hearing them, he's been dealing with them for many years. Some of the symptoms he's actually had for many years, on a small scale. It wasn't like every day. Could go have the symptom and then nothing for a couple months or a few months. So at this point, I'm pretty sure he already has it, but we don't have the confirmation from the doctor. One of the issues that I personally am having with this is our relationship has been very strained for several years. and he has not treated me very good at all. Um, so maybe with getting treatment for this condition, maybe that'll help him treat me better. Maybe it won't. Um, I'm having to make choices for myself and my own health, my own mental health, and obviously my physical health. I put that off for many years, but have finally addressed that a few years ago. Um, so I'm trying to get that taken care of. Um, I've taken care of our four kids and him for a long time. I mean, we've been married. We just last month we hit 29 years. So I've given a lot. Um, and from my perspective, not gotten a lot back. Not that that's the reason we do it. You know, as a wife and a mother, we don't necessarily do these things to get something back. We do it because that's our job. We do it out of love. We do it out of care and nurturing. Um, but, you know, it's nice when you get something back for all your time and energy and effort in caring and loving, right? Um, so, not many people my whole life have actually taken care of me. So, I've always helped other people. I've always been the one that go to the schools that you have students, you know, like that beauty school and the dental school, and I used to work at a chiropractic college. Uh, so I've been always helping others with their dreams and helping them to learn and help them, you know, practice on me so they can learn to do things. Because I always thought, you know, if everybody said no to these students that are trying to learn these different careers, then they would never learn what they're trying to learn, right? So someone has to be willing to let them practice on them so that they can learn and become these different people in these different positions in the different careers. Um, so now I am making some decisions that are more catering to me. Not that I'm trying to be selfish. I don't think I am. Well, sometimes I am. I mean, I just admitted to that. but but as best I can, I'm trying not to be selfish in my decisions. But I'm also now saying it's time for me. You know, it's time for Susan to get something for her time and effort. And because no one else really is doing that, I'm having to do it for myself. Um, now I can't say it's 100% no one else is doing anything for me, because I mean there are people doing things for me. Uh, but anyway, so this is kind of I want also the people to understand when they see me in my basically happy state when I'm being goofy and silly and laughing. I mean, I'm sincere in that. I mean, I really am laughing, but there is a big sorrow behind all the laughter, and I'm wanting people to know that, because I also don't want people to think that my life is just all peaches and cream. People can tend to look at someone like me and think I got, you know, everything going, and, there's a lot behind the scenes that are happening. So I endeavor to be authentic um, at all times. And so this is part of my life also. Uh, so as much as I am silly and goofy and laugh, I'm also have a deep sorrow. Um, and a lot of the laughter is just trying to just do comic relief. You know what I'm saying? That is a thing, and it works really good. Um, so, um, and the and my husband's health and how he's treated me is just one piece of uh, the crap I have to deal with. You know, um, so for anybody who's listens to this, and if you're a praying person, um, especially a praying person to Yeshua Jesus Christ, I'd really appreciate prayers for our family, because we don't know what this is really going to mean for us as the disease progresses. I mean, you know, he can be healed of it. That is that is a possibility, but is that the Lord's will? You know, I'm not necessarily going to pray for healing. What I'm wanting to pray for more is just strength, and patience and mercy to make it through this with doing it. And because I mean, this is a broken world. Okay, we live in a broken world that now has disease and garbage and crap in it, because of Adam's disobedience. So that's just, some of this just now goes with the territory. So, and with all I've been through, um, I've gotten past, I think, on the most part. Not now, who knows? Next week, I might not be doing this, but on the most part, I believe I've gotten past the, oh Lord, can you take this away from me type of prayers. I'm now praying more, okay, I'm going to need your help through this. And I need to know what the purpose of this is. And I ask why now, not from oh, why me? Why did that happen? That have to be me type of thing, but why in the sense of, what's the purpose of this? What am I supposed to get through this? Is there any lessons I'm supposed to learn? What is the purpose for me? What is the purpose for my family? This person, that person? What is the purpose behind that? All this. So I pursue those questions now, um, so that I can make better choices, um, and and then apply the correct scripture, uh, because that's what you need to apply the correct scripture. And I've lived through that too, where I was applying scripture, but I was trying to fix the wrong problem. And so the scriptures didn't really work. And it wasn't that the scriptures were bad, because the Lord's word is perfect, but it was because I was applying them wrong. I was trying to fix a problem that wasn't the problem. So now that I know what the real problem is, I can apply the correct scriptures, and I'm now making it through my day better. So, so that's part of my testimony. Took a long time to get there, over 50 years. So, not sure if I missed what he was telling me all those years, or it just, I don't know, maybe it wasn't a timing. I don't know. Some of this I look back and go, there's information I could have used years ago, and I didn't have it. And so he has some purpose behind that to make sure I knew this information years ago. So I'm not mad that I didn't know. I'm just like, it's more of like, yeah, that would have been nice to know. And I would have, and if had I known, I would have made different decisions. I would have asked different questions, done things differently, obviously. But you only live once, and you can only do one path anyway. So regardless of what information you get, whenever, you only live life once, and there's only one path. You know what I'm saying? It's like it can only look one way, and so there might be 10 good paths, but you can only go down one. So you have to pick one, and it's not that this path was bad and that path was good, or vice versa. It's just, well, they're all just a path, and you got to pick one, and then, but each one has its own variables and pros and cons. So it doesn't always matter which path you take. You just got to pick one. Now, for some people it does. I mean, he has a specific purpose. Well, he has a purpose for everyone, but some people have a more specific purpose. So what path that they pick is crucial, because it needs to fit what his plan for their life is. And then other people, I don't think he has such a set plan. It's just, he says, well, hey, any of these paths, just pick one. And he lets us choose, some of the things that we want to do. And that is something that he actually has brought me through in the last 2 or 3 months, is understanding how to make decisions as an adult. Just to stand up as an adult and make a decision and be confident about it, even if it may be a bad decision. But it's just being mature about the decision, regardless of whether it's a good or bad one. It was just about making a decision and doing it confidently. And then, of course, whatever decision you make, you're going to have to deal with what the outcome of that is, whether that's good or bad. Of course, if it turns out good, we're all happy. But what if you decide to do something and then the outcome is something that you don't like? Well, uh, you just have to roll with those punches, because um, when you make a decision, it's you making the decision. So whatever the outcome is, you have to deal with that maturely and not throw a tantrum and complain. And that's what we tend to do as humans. There's so many times we make a decision, but then when the outcome, even though we may know that the possible outcome's not going to be is going to be something we don't like, we often still make the decision to do it. And then when indeed it does turn out bad and stuff happens and crap hits the fan, and we're just like, then we start complaining and crying and throw a little pity party, right? Um, well, we can't do that. That's what I have realized, and really got a grasp on how to make a decision as an adult, and then as an adult deal with the outcome, whatever it turns out to be. Um, on the most part. Now, I'm not saying I'm doing that 100% of the time, because it's sometimes it's still hard to deal with the consequences of some of your decisions. Um, so, and then you still want to throw a little tantrum and pity party and sit there and cry about the outcome when you knew that there was a possibility of that happening. So that's what I'm trying to do, because I've been actually treated a lot. Um, People have treated me, at least it seems like they do, treat me like a little girl. And I know in a lot of ways I am. A lot of times I do act like a teenager and I get silly. But just because I'm acting silly doesn't mean I can't be a responsible adult. I have raised 4 kids, owned a home, a car, pets, taking care of pets. So, I do have uh, a level of mature adult in me, but I also just like to be silly a lot of times. I have a big silly streak through me, and there's elements of being a teenager that are actually fun. I mean, like, come on, don't. I mean, think back to how teenagers, act, and there's a lot of fun and silliness with them. Uh, so I'm trying to have the best of both worlds, you know. So I think too that confuses people because it's kind of like a dual personality type thing, but it's not like the Faces of Eve type thing where I don't know what the other personality's doing. I do. I know when I'm acting like a teenager and when I'm acting like a mature adult. I remember what I'm doing. It's not like I black out and I don't know what I did or said. Um, but that is part of what I do like about myself. I do like that part, and I think other people like it too. I mean, they tell me they do. Um, but not everybody does. You know what I'm saying? Some people get offended by it. Uh, so it's like whatever. Um, I can only be myself, and that's part of too is in one sense, I guess in one perspective, I've actually gotten worse since with the autism revelation and finding out about the autism, um, because I realized, all those years I was trying to be somebody I wasn't. I was trying to be somebody that I thought I should be. And now a lot of those things that I did, a lot of choices I made and decisions I made were still good choices and decisions. So some of that I don't regret. Um, but there's an element of it that I realized, wow, I actually wasn't the person I thought I was. There's a big part of me that's not the same because I'm not the person that I was trying to be in my 20s, back when I was in my 20s. Of course, a lot of that went out the window once I got married and started having kids, and um, and then I became a person I didn't like being because of the stress. But then, a lot of that was not realizing that uh, my brain was trying to process uh, a lot of information, and uh, I wasn't aware that my brain wasn't processing information properly. So now that I understand that, I can manage that better and help my brain manage that. Um, so maybe that's what I'll do. The next video, I'll go through the two different analogies that I see my brain does, how my brain thinks, and how I picture how my brain thinks and processes information, and how I'm able to get tasks done and uh, manage my stress and I don't know, all that stuff. That basically that. So that would probably be a good video for tomorrow. So I could do that one tomorrow. I mean, I guess I'm trying to do a video every day. I'm not sure. I mean, uh, that does help the algorithm on this platform. When you do a video every day, uh, then the system puts your video out there, which I mean, I guess is fine or whatever. I'm not really concerned about numbers. I don't care. Um, so I might do a video every day. I might not. I might do 3 in a day. I don't know. I'm just just taking one moment at a time, and I'll get videos out when I get them out. Um, so anyway, I guess if anybody has any questions and wants any more information, my life is an open book, so I don't mind people asking any questions. In fact, I do better with direct questions uh, instead of kind of peep-hawing around and try to not offend me or whatever, and you kind of beat around the bush. I don't do well with that. It's like, just say it, okay? Just say what you mean. Just say what you want to ask. Just say what you want to say, or comment, question, comment, complaint, whatever it is. Just say it. Um, so I handle things better when you're more blunt uh, than when you're trying to be overly nice and congenial. And I guess that's probably the autism. so, so I'd rather you just say what you think and feel, just get it out there, than, you know, than otherwise. So, I mean, you choose to be how nice you want to be about saying stuff to me. I mean, I don't control that. You choose that. And I mean, there are ways to say things better than other ways, and you'll get a better result if you say it this way versus some other way. But you know, uh, I'm not in charge of how you think and how you choose to say stuff. I don't even want to be in charge of that. I have too much going on. I don't have the energy for that anymore. I mean, I guess when you're in your 20s, you kind of do try to do that with people, you know. Um, but I just don't have the willpower, or the energy to do that anymore. Uh, so this, I'm like I keep saying, I'm 98% for free speech. I think the little bit I think you shouldn't really attack someone verbally and call them names, but that still does happen. So, but you know, that is I'm not going to tolerate that on my channel. But on the most part, you can just say what you think. Your opinion, if it's different than someone else's, fine. You know, we're all here on the planet to learn from each other, and we're not going to learn if we don't allow other perspectives to come into the conversations. And there's lots of ways to see things, and you know, the glass is half full and half empty at the same time. And there's and both of those are good and both of those are bad at different times depending on the situation. So I'm not for that statement. Well, you know, you got to look at the glass as half full. Well, you know, no, I don't. In certain circumstances, I need to look at it as half empty. So uh, it's not across the board looking at it being positive thinking and looking at the glass as half full. And just because you're looking at it half empty doesn't mean you're a negative person. It just means that's the way you're seeing it, and sometimes that is what you need to see. So anyway, I'm trying to end this video. uh, oh my gosh, why do we do this? So say goodbye 50 times. I don't know. Just, you know, you just get another thought and then you're just like, oh yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna end this video. I will do the next one, talking about the two different analogies that I use to explain my thinking and how my brain functions and how I manage that now that I know about the autism. Okay, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.